Hurricane Milton lost some of its punch this afternoon. Now Category 3 storm, but it is still expected to cause widespread flooding and damage. Hello, I'm Steve Eager. Most of the Florida Peninsula will feel the effects of this storm. This is Sarasota, where there could be extensive flooding from the storm surge. There have been more than 100 tornado warnings issued across South and Central Florida from Milton's outer bands. Landfall expected somewhere south of Tampa, with catastrophic flooding expected in some coastal areas. State emergency coordinators are telling everybody still in the storm's path to shelter in place as Florida braces for a long and dark night. Fox 4's Sean Rabb begins our coverage. Sean.
And Steve, the storm promises to have a devastating impact. Many evacuated in advance of Milton, others staying and hoping for the best as Florida prepares for the worst.
We are marshaling all available resources to be able to prepare and respond to Hurricane Milton.
And its early effects already being felt, with winds and rains washing over parts of Florida. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell joining the White House briefing virtually from North Carolina, warning Milton's impact will be catastrophic.
This storm is going to bring deadly storm surge, intense winds, flooding, but it is already bringing tornadoes across Florida.
It's quiet right now, but it was a little bit wild earlier. We had a tornado that came through and crossed 75. We heard it, but we were inside. We didn't see it. And a lot of tornado warnings. But right now, it's quiet.
Scott Taylor lives in Cross Creek Estates, South Fort Myers. He and his wife riding out the storm in their home.
We got a little generator that will run, critical things around the house. And, when we had Ian, we lost power for a day and a half. We lost a lot of other stuff. We lost the internet, and the cell towers were down. So we were out of communication for a few days.
But many have evacuated, even today, driving north and west. People doing what they can at the last minute to try and keep Milton's waters out and winds from breaking out windows. One big concern, mountains of debris still not picked up from Hurricane Helene that will become wind-whipped weapons in Milton's 100-mile-per-hour winds.
I got humbled by Helene, and then it was just one of those, the safety of my kids, all of them. It was it wasn't really a decision that took long to make.
Raphael Kelly, who grew up in North Texas, and his fiancée, Sarah Atkins, who live right on the coast in Bradenton, Florida, Manatee County, thought better of sticking this one out, dropping their kids and pets at Grandma's house in Louisiana, driving to Dallas Monday night.
And we've been meeting with people trying to find something for rent because we filled our 2 vehicles up and here we are. We don't know if we get home if it's going to be there.
Scott Taylor stays in South Fort Myers. He feels they'll be mostly missed by Milton.
Okay, well, I'll probably check back with you tomorrow, Mr. Taylor, to see how things go through the night.
All right. Well, we're hoping for the best, and I really appreciate your kind thoughts.
And for Scott Taylor and all who've hunkered down, it's going to be a very, very, very long night.
All right, Sean Rabb in the newsroom. Sean, thanks. We are already starting to see damage from Milton, mostly from the tornado outbreak that is in progress right now. Chief Meteorologist Dan Henry has been watching the developments of Hurricane Milton. Dan, I don't know, a tornado outbreak on the front side, is that pretty normal?
Yeah, with these landfalling storms, Steve, yes, it is pretty common to see tornadoes, in fact, a swarm of tornadoes as well. Keep in mind, though, too, that many of these storms are rotating, and so the National Weather Service will issue a lot more warnings than we'll see verified tornadoes for. They're moving so quickly, they just don't have time to really delve in and get true verification, and so the number of tornadoes will be much lower than the number of warnings issued. We don't want to downplay this too much, but this storm is kind of a shell of itself from yesterday. You can see the southern portion of this eye wall is completely exposed now. It's been drawing in dry air. It's been undergoing wind shear. So all of these factors combined are causing it to weaken. Winds continue to slowly come down. It's still a formidable hurricane with winds of 120, but wouldn't be surprised if it continues to weaken before making landfall. It's 60 miles from Sarasota. moving northeast at 17, so it's likely going to make landfall close to 9 o'clock tonight. Still some intense bands that are moving onshore here from Tampa and Sarasota up towards the Orlando area, the Space Coast, and there still are a number of tornado warnings along the east coast of Florida at this point in time. Here's a look at the track. Once again, it's expected to make landfall as a Cat 3, maybe even a high-end Cat 2 late this evening near Sarasota. Push inland. That track will take it just south of Orlando, but through some very populated areas, and it will be a hurricane through its entire duration across the Florida Peninsula.